Here we go, more fractions. And we're going to get right into it. We're talking about multiplying fractions by a fraction. So we've done it with whole numbers. And now we're going to talk about multiplying a fraction by a fraction and what that would mean. So first off, let's do an easy one. What happens if we take 1/2 of, or multiply of, we'll just say of, so we can understand that a little better. 1/2 of 1/4. And so what we want to do is I'm going to first show you the visual, and then I'll show you how we do the math with that so you can kind of see. So first off, we want this 1/4 split up, okay? So we're going to split this into a fourth. And this is a whole. Now, I know we're only taking half of 1/4, but we need to show that we have a fourth before we just take from it. Okay, so there's 4. It's not super even, but now the understanding is that we only have a fourth of the whole, right? So if I said we have a fourth of a pan of brownies, okay, how much of the pan was already eaten? We know that 3/4 are gone, but we still had a whole to begin with. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take half of that. But if we split that in half, we need to split the whole thing in half. And we only have a fourth, so we only are going to take half of that fourth. So now if we see, we have a new whole that is 8ths, and we only want one of them, so it is 1/8. All right, so what's happening is that, here, let me do this one. So if we're taking this one, we're saying that this right here is our fourth. This right here is our half of a fourth. All right, and what we're doing here is we got our 8th. We are multiplying. And to multiply fractions, we multiply straight across, and it is 1/8. So that's how we would do that type of problem. So let's try another one. And what happens if, it's not just 1? It's just not a nice number on top. We can go beyond that. So let's try this with another one. So here we go. So to take that beyond, we can even do problems like 1/3 of 3/5. Well, what does that mean? Well, this means 1/3 times 3/5. Right? So we can go from there, but how do we show it? Well, I'm going to show you. So we are taking from 3/5. Okay. So there's 5ths. And we are taking from, I'm going to do it on this side, 3 of them. 1, 2, 3. This is all that we have. This is all that we have. So this is what we have available to us. There might have been 5/5 at one point. There is not anymore. We're going to take a third of it. A third of it. So how do we show that? Well, then we have to split the whole thing up into thirds. Okay. Once we split the whole thing up, we want 1/3 of what is available. Well, 1/3 of what is available, if this is a third, if we're looking at this whole thing, that this is a third. Okay, 1/3, 2/3, 3/3, right? Well, this means that here, I'm going to overlap it with a different color, that we only have these 3 available. Well, what does that 3 mean? We can look at it as one of two things. We can look at it as a 5th, or we can look at it as 3/15, right? Because if we count all these boxes up, we have 15. 3 of them matter to us because that's a third of what we have available to us. So it would be 3/15, right? So 1/3 of 3/5 is equal to 3/15. How does that work? Well, multiplying straight across, we would get 3/15. But we would also get 1/3, because look at 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, right? So we have a third of it, but it's also a 5th, right? It's an equivalent fraction. So 3/15 is the same as 1/5, right? So, and when you look at this, if you move this to these 2 boxes, right, what's available, and then leave these empty, you can kind of see that there too if you're looking for it. So yeah, we can multiply straight across. Yes, we can draw a picture. Both of those make sense. Hopefully that kind of gives you a better understanding of this as we kind of dive deeper into multiplying. But remember, when we multiply any number, if I can take this off for just one more second, we can do this with anything. So 1/3 of 3/4, right? It works the same way. Now you can go straight to your algorithm, or you can split this up into fourths. Know that you have 3 of them. Okay, we'll just do this problem real quick. Right, so there are my 3/4, and I'm splitting them up into thirds because that's what it's asking me to do. Right, and only one of these thirds matters. So how do I do that? Right, 1/3. So there are 3 of them. Right, so this is what's important to us. Okay. Right, and in this case, that is, we have a total of 12. 3 of them matter, so it's 3/12. Right, but what's happening is 1/3 times 3/4 is equal to 3/12. What is 3/12? Well, if we divide it by 3, or find the equivalent fraction of 3/12, it is actually 1/4. Okay, and it's kind of visible there, so that is 1/4. So when we multiply straight across. Okay, so good luck.